So about a week or so before Apple announced that they are going to release the Apple AirTag, they announced that they're going to allow third-party manufacturers to have accessories in the Find My app. One of those first three accessories was Chipolo. Chipolo announced that they're going to release the brand new Chipolo One Spot, which I have in hand, and I'm going to be testing out all the features. But today we're going to compare the Chipolo One Spot versus the Apple AirTag and see which one might be right for you. Let's go ahead and jump into the video. Brand new Bluetooth trackers in a nutshell. They are simple, little tiny devices that work over Bluetooth and connect to your phone. And if you happen to misplace your things like your keys, your bag, there's Bluetooth trackers that are designed for wallets, luggage, the list goes on and on. And if you happen to misplace your things, you can go into the app, or in this case, the Find My app, and you can make it ring and help you find it. And if you happen to be outside the Bluetooth range, other community members that also have iPhones and the Find My app, they can actually connect to your Chipolo or your Apple AirTag anonymously and report back that location of where connected using the GPS in your phone. Now, of course, the Find My network can also use people's iPads and computers. So in general, both of these do the exact same thing. They might have some additional features, which I'll discuss in a moment, but in general, they're just Bluetooth trackers to help you find your misplaced things. I thank Chipolo for sending this out to me. That's not going to sway my opinion in one way or another. If I don't like something, I'm definitely going to let you know. I'm also going to be leaving affiliate links where you can pick both of these up. And if I have any promo codes, I'll also leave those down below so you can save a little bit of money. I doubt that I'll have one for Apple, but sometimes I do have one for Chipolo. Now, Apple is brand new to the Bluetooth tracker game, where Chipolo has been out for years. I think I've been covering Chipolo for, I don't know, 5-6 years. And Apple just recently released the Apple AirTag less than a month ago. And already this thing is a huge game changer. But unfortunately, when you start comparing the Apple AirTag to some other Bluetooth trackers that are currently on the market, this thing does have some shortcomings. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the Apple AirTag, but some of the testing that I've done over the past month or so, there are things that just don't stack up. Now, of course, one huge game changer of the Apple AirTag is the Apple Find My network, with close to 1 billion devices all looking for your Apple AirTag. And with that many Apple devices out there, if you lose your AirTag in a populated area, you'll find your AirTag in no time. But understand that the AirTag is a Bluetooth tracker and not a GPS tracker. It can only communicate over Bluetooth, which means that it does have to connect to someone else's cell phone within Bluetooth range. And in my testing, the Apple AirTag had a Bluetooth range of maximum of about 90-95 feet. Understand, even with the shorter distance, with that many other devices looking for your Apple AirTag, more than likely someone's gonna be within that Bluetooth range as long as you are in a populated area. And if you look at the Tile Pro, it has a maximum distance of about 600 feet in my testing. And even though this is 6 times stronger or better antenna or Bluetooth signal, it doesn't have as many active users. So who knows what the real numbers are with Tile. The thing with Tile is, yes, they might have sold, 30-40 million tiles, but the active users are the ones that are going to be reporting the devices back to their owners. In that case, it's probably about 15-20 million active users, where every Apple device out there that's upgraded to, I think it's iOS 14.5.1 will be able to report back the location of the Apple AirTag in the Find My network. And I'm not quite sure what the percentage is of people who upgrade to the current firmware, but I know it's pretty high. So that 15 million or 20 million Tile users compared to the Apple devices all looking for your Apple AirTag doesn't even compare. Apple is blowing away the competition when it comes to the Find My network. And that that right there is the huge game changer of the Apple AirTag. And I also did testing of the sound that's coming out of this thing, and unfortunately it's not that impressive. Loudest there was 92.7, so a little bit louder on the plastic side. Lose this thing in a couch, or if it's in a different room, unfortunately you're not going to hear this thing. This thing is not loud at all. But if you do happen to have an iPhone 11 or 12, you can use the ultra wide band to help you find it even if you can't hear it. Now, I believe that you can find your device a lot faster with a louder ringer than using the ultra wide band feature. Yes, it's really cool. It's a great graphic, and if you're in a noisy area or you can't hear it and you can connect to the ultra wideband, that thing is great. But in all honesty, if you're losing things around the house like your keys or your purse or your backpack and you're close by, or even if you're not close by, even if you're a couple of rooms away, a louder ringer is going to find it faster and connect to it much faster than the ultra wideband. A lot of people have been reporting, including in my test, the ultra wideband doesn't even connect until you're within like 20-30 feet. You can get lucky, sometimes it's like 40 to 50 feet if you have a line of sight, but in most cases it's 20 or 30 feet. So if you're not within that range, unfortunately you're not going to have ultra wideband. Even with the Bluetooth connection, it did better than the ultra wideband in my testing inside, but even that, around 30 feet it would drop off. If I had line of sight like down this hallway right here, I might be able to get 30 to 40 feet, but if I was in one of the rooms to the side, unfortunately the walls and the electrical wires just cut off that signal and didn't always work. Even when I went downstairs one level, sometimes it connected up here, but often it did not. Now understand, I do have a larger house, and I'm sure most people are not going to have these connection issues just because their house is smaller, but understand that when it comes to other Bluetooth trackers out there on the market, I never had that issue before. So I'm not complaining. Like I said earlier, I think the Apple AirTag is still a huge game changer, but because of those shortcomings, that distance, the sound, unfortunately it just doesn't stack up to the competition in those departments, in those features. But when it comes to the Find My network, Apple has definitely hit a grand slam home run, and because of that, this thing is still considered a huge game changer in my book. And when it comes to privacy of both of these devices, Apple and the Find My network definitely has been in the news lately, but understand that these devices are not new. GPS trackers are really cheap these days, and they work a lot better than Bluetooth trackers, and when you factor in the monthly cost, you can do a month and you're probably only paying maybe $5 or $6 more for both the device and 1 month of service. In all honesty, yes, Apple has mitigated some of these privacy concerns with at least Apple users, where it will actually notify you of an AirTag that doesn't belong to you that's falling around once you get home, and I think it starts ringing after 3 days once it's moved for Android users and non-iPhone users, which you can easily pop out the sound, so it doesn't really matter. But what it really depends on is that people need to respect other people. These things are for items, not for people. If you want to learn more of my thoughts on Apple AirTag privacy and the Find My network, I did an entire video on it. I'll leave right up there and also down in the description, so definitely check that out. Now it does come in at $29, but because of the way that is designed, unfortunately if you want to put this on anything, you're going to have to buy an accessory. And you know, Apple sells the accessories to an accessory. I've also drilled a couple holes in this thing and put in a lanyard. Other people have drilled a bigger hole and put in a key ring. So if you absolutely love the design of this, which I think this thing looks awesome, but wish it had some type of attachment point to it, you can definitely do it. Now understand, you do void the warranty. Is there even a warranty on this thing? and you also lose the water resistance. Of course, the AirTag has a user replaceable battery, just like most Bluetooth trackers these days, not the old ones, just today's. It's easy to change. They say it's gonna last about a year. It's still unknown. This thing's only been out less than a month. So hopefully we'll get a year out of this thing. I'll be updating my full pros and cons list on my website, let you know my battery life that I'm personally getting. And then they also have a NFC chip in here, so it helps you to set this up easily and quickly. Plus, if another user finds your Apple AirTag, they can scan it with their phone. It'll take them to a web page and get your contact information if you put it in lost mode and add your phone number. I think overall though, I love the design of it. I love the accessories from Apple. They're quite expensive, so if you add everything together, it's $58. Of course, you don't need to spend that much, and I think you're getting a lot of value here. I love Bluetooth trackers. I love the Apple design. I love their accessories. As you can tell, I bought a bunch of them, but still some of the shortcomings are hard to swallow, and that's why I'm super excited to check out the brand new Chipolo One Spot, which also works on the game-changing Find My network. So it has that huge feature that I love with the Apple AirTags, but still has some other features of the original Chipolo that I love. Unfortunately, some of the features from the Chipolo One did not come over to the Chipolo One Spot, which I'll talk about. And unlike the Apple AirTag, it has a keyring hole right there on top, so you can go ahead and add this directly to your keys or strap it onto a backpack or a purse very easily. It also has a CR2032 battery, which is user replaceable, and it has a water resistance of IPX5, whereas the Apple AirTag has an IP rating of 67, so it's a lot more water resistant. But unless you're swimming a long time with these, or if you drop it in puddles for an extended period of time, you're not gonna have to worry too much about water resistance. But if you are worried, you gotta go with the better one, the Apple AirTag coming in at IP67. And when it comes to physical specs, obviously the Chipolo One Spot is much bigger than the Apple AirTag, coming in at about 38 millimeters, and the Apple AirTag is shy of 32 millimeters. But when it comes to thickness, it is kind of one of those optical illusions. The Chipolo One Spot is thinner, coming in about 6.5, and the Apple AirTag is 8 millimeters thick. And in my opinion, both of these are too thick for a wallet, but that's just my opinion. People can do whatever they want. They're going to do whatever they want. I've seen some companies actually make wallets specifically for the Apple AirTag, but in my opinion, I think anything over 3 millimeters is just too thick for a wallet, but people are going to do whatever they want to do, and if you love the Apple AirTag and you want a wallet, go for it. Now, when it comes to setup of the Chipolo ones, it is a little bit more, I don't even want to say the word difficult. It wasn't difficult at all. It just had more steps than the Apple AirTag, because this has an NFC tag and this one does not. So you just go into the Find My app and you tell it to search for new devices. You double press the button on the Chipolo one. It connects, it identifies it, and you're good to go. And just like AirTags, you can hit play sound to make it ring. You can find directions to the location where it last connected. You can see if it's with you, if it's connected or not. You can add the notification of when it's found. It'll notify you, which I noticed with the Apple AirTags, it wasn't 100%. Most of the time you got a notification, but sometimes it forgot until you actually go into the app and you can see it actually connected. So it was kind of weird. And of course you have the lost mode. With the lost mode, it's going to turn on notifications. It's going to lock the Chipolo One and the AirTag to your account, so if someone else finds it, they cannot reset it and add it to their own account. And you can add contact information. So if someone happens to find your Chipolo One Spot, they can go into the Find My app and connect to it and get your contact information if you happen to leave it. Fortunately, no one's going to know this is a Chipolo One Spot that works in the Find My app. There's no identification on here or markings on here that say, if found, please go to the Find My app. So people are going to be going into the Chipolo app thinking they can maybe find the owner, and unfortunately the Chipolo One Spot does not work with the native Chipolo app. So yeah, having that NFC tag is a huge benefit. Not only can iPhone users use it, but also Android users. But unfortunately, the Chipolo One Spot doesn't have that feature. The only feature that's missing in the Find My app with the Chipolo One Spot is the Find Nearby, where it actually turns on the ultra wide band and it actually directs you to where the Apple AirTag is. It just doesn't have that hardware, so it can't be in the Find My app. So if that's a huge benefit for you, you gotta go with the Apple AirTag. But in my personal opinion, you're really not gonna use it that often unless you're in a noisy area or if you can't hear this. And because the sound is so low on the Apple AirTag, it's much slower that way. Where if you have a louder ringer like the Chipolo One Spot has, you're gonna find it a lot faster. You can hear it, you can run to it and get it. So you can see it rings much louder. The loudest there was 102.4. Now obviously there's people with disabilities, and having that ultra wideband is a life-changing feature, and I'm glad that the Apple AirTag has that, but I wish the Apple AirTag had a louder ringer. You agree with me that you can find it faster with sound over ultra wideband? I think the Chipolo One Spot is the way to go. With both devices, you can also ring it from your HomePod or HomePod Mini. You do have to have your iPhone within Bluetooth range, so it's still connecting to your iPhone. You're kind of just triggering that through Siri. So you can say, hey Siri, find Eric's luggage.
Looking for Eric's luggage.
And just like that, it rings. Unfortunately, I love that it rings for so long, but the original Chipolo one, you were able to press the button and make it stop. Unfortunately, you can't do that once you find it. You have to go into the app and turn it off. And you can do that with the Apple AirTag. Hey Siri, find Eric's keys.
Looking for Eric's keys. It's nearby. Pinging Eric's keys now.
Now, when it came to the distance of the Chipolo One, not the Spot, I haven't tested the Spot yet outside, I was getting over 500 feet in the max distance test. And that kind of came over to my indoor testing with the Chipolo One Spot. Pretty much anywhere I went in my house, it was able to connect. I wasn't always able to hear it, but if I was on the first two levels, I could definitely hear it. But if I was upstairs, if this was upstairs and I was in the basement, obviously I could not hear it. But still, the louder ringer and the longer distance is definitely a huge benefit. So since both of these use the Apple Find My network and can utilize all the Apple devices that qualify for the Find My network, I think as people update, just gonna add more and more devices to it. But still, that community is humongous. I'm telling you, I've tested the Apple AirTags out there in the wild, and it gets hit all the time, no matter where I am. I can go driving down the street with my Bluetooth off on my phone, and it's still tracking me every 10 to 15 minutes. So even though this thing has about 100-foot range, if cars are right next to me, it's definitely getting hit. And Chipolo says it has a range of about 200 feet or 60 meters, which is the exact same thing as the original Chipolo one, but in my testing, I got over 500 feet. We'll be doing a max distance test of this shortly, but even at 200 feet, it's still double the distance of the Apple AirTag, which could definitely be beneficial when trying to find things inside the house and you need that additional range. Now, unfortunately, neither one of these has a button on here that you can actually find your phone. The original Chipolo One had a button. This actually still has a button, but it doesn't do anything when you press it. But the original one, you can actually press it to make your phone ring. So if you happen to misplace your phone, you can make it ring, which I know you can do do that now with your Apple Watch, or if you have an iPad or your computer, you can go into Find My and make your phone ring. So it's not a huge deal that this doesn't have it, but it would still been nice if you can double press this and you don't need to go on an additional device. If you happen to have your keys, you just double press it and make your phone ring. But unfortunately, the Chipolo One Spot does not have that. In addition, neither one of these has any type of notification when you leave your device behind. The Chipolo One, the original Chipolo One, had something called Outrange notifications. So if you happen to leave your Chipolo One behind, say at a restaurant, with of course with your keys attached, you would get to, say, roughly the parking lot. You get a notification on your phone to let you know that you left your Chipolo One behind, which is a feature I used often. I would leave my wallet behind at work with the Chipolo One card in it. Sometimes I left my keys, and it was really nice just not to get too far. I didn't even have to get to my car to know that I didn't have my keys. I would just get to like the edge of the parking lot. It told me to go back up and go get my keys. So that was definitely a huge benefit. But unfortunately, the Chipolo One Spot does not have the Outrange notifications. I think they lost both of those features, the reverse ringing and the Outrange notifications, so they could join the Find My network, which that app just doesn't have those features built in. So I would like to see Apple add features like that in the Find My app, so devices like the Chipolo and hopefully the Apple AirTag can utilize something like that. There are some smaller features that were also left behind, like the sharing, which I think is really important. I wish the Apple AirTag and the Chipolo One Spot you could share with family members. And you also lost the selfie feature, which I didn't think was that important to begin with. It's still cool. So yeah, it lost some features, but gaining that Find My network is humongous, and that is game changing for Chipolo. So which one should you get? This one comes in at $29 plus a accessory, and this one is $28. You can get 4 of these for $100, or you can get 4 of these, I think, at $90. So it really comes down to what features that you currently want. Do you want a keyring right in the device, or do you want to buy an accessory? Do you want a louder ringer, or do you want ultra wide band? It really comes down to your preference. I like both of these. I think both of these are humongous when it comes to Find My network. That's the huge game changer. So it really comes down to the features that you want. Honestly, you can't go wrong with either one. All right, guys, if you guys want to see more testing of both of these trackers, I've done a bunch of videos already on the Apple AirTag. I've done the LANYARD, I've done the sound testing, and a bunch of other tests on the Apple AirTag. I'm going to do a bunch of tests on the Chipolo One Spot in the coming weeks. If you guys want to see those videos and you're interested in Bluetooth trackers and other trackable things, definitely check out my other channel called Track This or Track That. It's on this side, not that side, Eric. Over there. I do want to thank all my Patreon members. These guys are awesome. If you guys want to learn the benefits of becoming a Patreon member, definitely check out my Patreon page right there. And if you're brand new here, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I truly appreciate it. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys on the next video. I'm out.
Nothing can break me.